What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over what you need to know about today's Fortnite update as far as Battle Royale is concerned, and this is mainly just going to be that the Tac AR was added to the loot pool. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the Tac AR being added to the game. So this can be found in the regular loot pool just as you would find any other weapon, so floor loot, chest loot, god chests, all of that. And this is a very low recoil, low damage weapon with a decent fire rate. I'll have the stats on screen now, and as you can see, it's got a 7 fire rate and its damage really isn't that great even at gold rarity. And personally, I really do not enjoy using this weapon at all. It currently has less damage and a lower fire rate than the Warforged AR, and that was why I said it has like a decent fire rate, because what I expected out of this weapon was low recoil, low damage, but like good fire rate to kind of make up for it. And if your tracking is consistently good, then that would kind of make up for it. But I feel like as it is now, its main selling point is just low recoil, because it does have less damage and a lower fire rate than the Warforged AR. And I think that just makes the Warforged a much better option. But even if you take the Warforged out of the equation, I would still much rather use water bending, the Nemesis AR, the Thunderburst, and probably even a Ranger pistol over the Tac AR. And with how mobility is in the current game with like shockwaves, airbending, and the Cerberus dashes, it's not often that your opponent is just going to sit there and let you melt them down with this weapon. A lot of fights kind of where I'm using my AR are situations where somebody's either in a car running from me, or running from me with airbender, or running from me with dashes. And in those situations, having the weapon that doesn't have good DPS and just kind of slowly deals damage over time, I don't think is very good. Also, the bullet velocity on this weapon didn't feel very good to me. That's something that's very subjective. I don't know if it is definitively better than like the Warforged AR or the waterbending, but like probably is definitely worse than the waterbending. But like I just felt like I had a much easier time hitting shots with the Warforged AR, and it could just be because I'm like more used to using it, because like I'm more used to its bullet travel time, but it just felt like to me that the Tac AR had lower bullet velocity, meaning that you're going to have to lead your shots more, and that makes it harder to hit shots on opponents running from you, which, like I kind of already laid out, is the main situation I'm using the AR in currently. In the past, the Tac AR, one of the main things it had going for it was that it used light ammo, so in team game modes, you could theoretically use light ammo, and then give your teammates your medium ammo if there were any ammo concerns within the team. And that's still true. It does still use medium ammo, but also the Thunderburst uses light ammo, and I would much rather have the Thunderburst than the Tac AR. And then also the waterbending is insane and has unlimited ammo. So like just the idea that like it uses light ammo is a nice little positive, but I don't think it's that big of a deal in the current loot pool, because there's other options that either also use light ammo or have unlimited ammo that I also think are better. It also has a great reload speed, but again, the Thunderburst and the waterbending I think also have really good reload speed. So it's like almost everywhere this weapon kind of has like a little plus. Something else in the loot pool I think is just a better weapon, and then also has that same plus. So I really don't know what the point of this weapon is. I think low recoil is just kind of its main point of value. And so you could say it's low recoil, so therefore it's like an easier to use weapon, which would be somewhat true, but like I already said, the bullet velocity on it doesn't feel as good to me as like the Warforged AR. But also, when you have something that's just low recoil, making it easier to use, right? I feel like in a way it's also harder to use, because it's just a way worse weapon at like actually eliminating people in game. So you might have a weapon that's easier to hit shots with, but I think it's actually harder to win fights with the Tac AR than it is the Warforged AR. I'm very biased though. The Warforged AR is one of my favorite ARs like ever in Fortnite recently. So like it's hard to compare to that, but even then, that's why I kind of outlined like I'd rather use the waterbending, I'd rather use the Nemesis, I'd rather use the Thunderburst. Like this is like 5th or 6th down the line in terms of like medium range like rifle for me. And then if you're gonna think of it as like an SMG because it uses light ammo, I feel like it's also not as good as like the Thunderburst or even the Warforged for that, because the Warforged does have a higher fire rate. So yeah, for me, the Tac AR just really isn't that worthwhile. I don't really know a situation Like, I used it a lot today, and I don't think there's a single time where I was like, dang, I'm really happy I'm using this gun. Like, every time, even if it got the job done, just felt like the Warforged would have been better there. One kind of nice thing about it, I think, is that I was consistently finding ones that have the red dot sight or the 1.3 sight on them. So I could see a world where like maybe just off spawn you get this with a red dot and then you're happy to like at least have a weapon with a red dot, because it's not terrible. It's just not like good in my opinion. It's very mid. That term is overused a lot, but like that's kind of how I describe it. It's just kind of okay, which is probably how the low recoil weapon should be. Like, I don't think the lowest recoil, easiest to use weapon should also be really good. The fact that it's just kind of very forgiving and very easy to use is kind of its main point of value. But personally, I don't really have a hard time controlling the recoil on the Warforged AR. And also, I have a much better feel like bullet velocity wise for the Warforged AR. So I just personally would much rather use the Warforged or the water bending over the tactical AR. Another thing that happened in this update is for some reason Fortnite broke the quick weapon swap setting if you're a controller player. That is busted in this update. It was not intentional. Fortnite status posted this. They said, hey everyone, we're aware that players may be experiencing issues when trying to use quick weapon settings on controller inputs. The team is working on a fix and will provide an update when we have one. So if you got on and were wondering why your quick weapon setting was messed up in this update, it's not that they removed it. It's just bugged because, you know, that's the nature of Fortnite. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. Very simple update. Most of the content that was added in this update was for Lego and Festival, I believe. And there was BR content added, but it's going to be coming next week. So like there's stuff added, but it's just not coming until after the Avatar update basically. And that's kind of like what I expected for this update. But let me know what you guys think of the Tac AR and what you think of this update. And if you enjoyed this, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. GG's. Dang, I wanted to get that G-Wagon. He's gonna fizz shock, I think. That was almost bad. Tac seems to have lower damage at range than a burst. You